In the middle of the Arizona desert, a crowd of strangers meet for one purpose.
You guys coming out here to help me out, I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
To help another stranger, a father desperately searching for his 24-year-old son, Daniel Robinson.
Since he was a child, he liked to challenge everything.
He was born with a challenge.
And I wanted to introduce him to prosthetics because he's born one hand. We quickly learned that that's something that Daniel didn't want. He let nothing stop him. He decided to be a geologist once he got into freshman year in college. He excelled that. He graduated with honors.
Daniel's first job is checking the viability of water wells in the Arizona desert.
He loved this area, of course, because of the rock formation. You're a geologist, this is the best place to be.
But the terrain became a hellscape for his dad when Daniel went missing back in June from his job site. And what number search is this?
This is search number 14.
Navigating the dangers in the desert, the Army veteran knows firsthand time is of the essence.
When I called the Buckeye Police Department, they told me that I had to wait an extra 3 hours because they had a 12-hour, report time when you can say a person is missing. Then I called them back and put in a missing person report. I got very worried. That's when I got very worried. I asked the Buckeye Police Department to go out and search that area. The officer told me that they were going to send a vehicle out there, a helicopter out to search for him. I was relieved. And then he called back an hour later and said, no, it was a no-go. I'm his dad, and he's my son. I've lost all sense of reality. At that moment, I said, you know what? They're not going to look for my son. I'm going to have to do it myself.
Before he arrived, police did decide to search on foot and with helicopters. This is the last place your son was seen?
The last place.
What do you think happened, David?
I think a lot happened here. I'm very suspicious.
But he doesn't know what. A month in, there's a break in the case, and police call Robinson.
I got afraid, actually, that it's going to be some bad news. He said, no, we just found his vehicle.
Some ranchers found it, and then at that point, we conducted our investigation and additional searches.
What was the condition of the car? If it had rolled over, it sounds like it was pretty bad.
Yeah, the car was on its side. The sunroof was kicked out at that point, so he might have exited through the sunroof.
His wrecked car in a ravine, both airbags deployed, Daniel's cell phone, clothes he was wearing that day, and a case of water all found at the crash site. But not Daniel. People don't just disappear into thin air.
True.
Does that sort of feel like what's happened to here?
Yes. Yeah, it's very, very challenging case.
No matter how much the family asks for this to be a criminal investigation, can you make that happen?
We can't make up evidence. Absolutely suspicious circumstances related to the case.
Frustrated and heartbroken, Robinson hired a private investigator. Where are we going?
Down here is where the vehicle was recovered from.
Is that the glass from the car?
Yes.
When you looked at this accident, what are the discrepancies that you noticed right away?
I believe it was in more than one collision.
What does the data from the black box of the car tell you?
That there was 11 additional miles on the vehicle since the airbags came out.
What does that tell you?
That tells me it was crashed somewhere else.
Does that sound suspicious? What explains that?
Well, we had the national expert that came in and provided us his findings, and then they ended up speaking to an expert at Jeep, and the expert says, yes, sometimes that happens, and it's not unusual.
But the data also shows someone tried to start the car 46 times after the crash.
That's something we can't explain.
It begs the question, again, the family is saying it's criminal. It's got to be, he's in danger. Do something.
Right. No, I agree. But we need information. We need evidence.
He's got a lot of theories. His words, I think, were, I don't think they cared. What do you say to that?
Can be furthest from the truth.
Losing hope, Robinson began pleading for media coverage.
It literally took 3 months.
While Robinson searched for his son, the country became riveted by media coverage of another missing persons case, the case of Gabby Petito.
In my situation, people think I love our children less or something, or they're less important.
In 2020, more than 543,000 missing persons records were filed. More than 480,000 were cleared. And 40% of the missing are people of color.
There are a lot of Gabby Petitos and Natalie Holloways in the Black and brown community.
That's why former police officer Derica Wilson co-founded Black and Missing Inc. and says too often their cases go untold. Eventually, local stations did stories and citizens began helping search. Did you know Daniel?
No, I just wanted to help.
You're just helping out a stranger on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Why?
You know what? I can't imagine what that man's going through.
As the search for Daniel goes into its 5th month, another family is in the midst of a terrible mystery for a 5th year. The family of Nikki and Arianna Fitz.
Arianna is very energetic, very happy.
2-year-old Arianna went missing under the most suspicious of circumstances in the San Francisco Bay Area in 2016. Her mother, Nikki Fitz, was found in a shallow grave in San Francisco's McLaren Park, but Arianna was gone.
It breaks my heart that Arianna's not with her mom, and Arianna's not with her family. But it also breaks my heart even more is that I know that Nikki wants nothing more than Arianna to be with us, to be home.
Tessa Fitz says she is convinced her niece Arianna was taken by people close to Arianna's mother. San Francisco police searched for weeks. They had some leads, but no arrests. A digitally altered photo was made of what she may look like now.
And she's 8 now. I don't want to see this in a picture. I want to see her face in person.
Should Arianna Fitz be a household name like JonBenet Ramsey?
Absolutely. Why is her case any different from Kaylee Anthony? I can tell you, the color of their skin is the only difference.
For 5 desperate years, the family has continued searching using flyers, social media, and Black and Missing Inc.
Do you think it has anything to do with color?
I try not to put myself in the mindset of the race issue with her media coverage. All I want is for there to be the media coverage for her. I think she deserves that.
The Fitz and the Robinsons want only one thing, with hugging their missing children once again.
Do you think that Arianna is still alive?
I do believe that Arianna is still alive, and it would mean everything to me to know where she is and to find her. I wait for that day every single day. I believe that day will come.
How long will you search?
Till I find my son. I have to. I mean, he's my responsibility.
Sarah Seidner, CNN, Buckeye, Arizona.
Government officials That BNC Live has been following from the beginning. A father continues his mission to find out what happened to his son.
Daniel Robinson vanished in the Buckeye Desert.
Daniel Robinson went missing in the Buckeye Desert.
Urgent plea from a father who has scoured the vast Arizona desert himself.
4-year-old Daniel Robinson. And this is a very, very odd mystery.
Daniel Robinson disappeared on June 23rd in the far West Valley.
His parents, David and Melissa, need our help.
I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson.
His name, Daniel Robinson. And leading the search, not law enforcement, but Daniel's father, David.
God knows how much we can bear, you know, and at times I feel like I can't really take but so much more.
Where is Daniel Robinson?
And identify they were human leg bones.
But you know what? It's still urgent to me as a father because, we found human remains out here.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son. I also want to thank the volunteers that come out here every weekend, volunteering their time. And, without these special people behind me, I wouldn't have a search.
How does a young man vanish off the face of the earth? How does that happen? No record, no sightings, nothing. He's just gone. And when I say a young man, I'm talking about 25-year-old Daniel Robinson. He is the apple of his parents' eye. A young geologist, music lover, good-looking, great grades, the works. So why can't we find Daniel? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. And his dad, David Robinson, is using the GoFundMe money to fund his own investigation and the desperate search for his boy, his son, Daniel Robinson, 25 years old. What happened to him? How did he just disappear? David Robinson, sir, thank you so much for being with us. Tell me when you first realized your son just hadn't called in a couple of days, that he was truly missing.
Yes, my son, on the 23rd, I did get a call from my daughter. She also lives out in Phoenix. And at times I feel like I can't really take but so much more.
But in his weakest times, David says it's the volunteers that provide him strength.
Everybody know that I call them my extended family. And so this visual is the same thing. We all here have one common goal, and that's to find Daniel and also to bring light what happened to other families.
As the Robinsons' extended family light candles tonight, their collective light shines towards that day when their question is answered and Daniel comes home. Josh Sanders, 12 News.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son. And I'm still here. Thank you guys for coming in this evening's Q&A. My name is David Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. Daniel, my son, graduate of College of Charleston. We are from South Carolina, by the way. Graduate of Columbia College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina. My son graduated with honors. He took his career out here to Arizona. He started off in Phoenix, Arizona, where he landed his first job with a company called Matrix New World, also called Matrix South Groundwater. My son got hired on with them as a field geologist, also called a hydrogeologist. My son's job is very important. He goes out to various well sites to get these assignments every morning from his job to go to different well sites. Sometimes he go at night, sometimes he go in day. But on June 23rd, he got 2 assignments, one to a well site, both in Buckeye, Arizona. The first one is off of Verado Way in Buckeye, Arizona, off of the I-10, and as well as one off of Sun Valley Parkway. My son did make it to that first well site, as you guys know, and from there, he supposedly have been going up to the second well site. That's where the problem came in. My son ended up, according to the worker that was waiting on my son, ended up at this well site roughly around 9 o'clock that morning. They had a brief conversation where this worker said that my son waved to him, drove off to never be seen again. There's a lot of details in between that as well. You guys know you have been hearing some of that story, I'm sure, online. And there's some details that's very conflicting with each other. The timeline that the man that last seen my son versus the time that's on his cell phone, for instance, and some other things that we have collected as evidence from everything that we have from being caught on that scene where the vehicle showed up. So you guys, if you want to know a little more about that story, of course, that's what I'm here for, to answer those questions. That's why I created this Q&A for, because there's a high interest in my son's case. My son's case went nationally last year. Been hard work, 3 months, working really hard to get his name out there. My deal was I was had searches out there in the desert every week. Have hundreds of volunteers, but my search wasn't just the desert. It also went outside of the desert into the cities where I was going to hospitals, to mental health wards, to the homeless population. That graduated to being a flyer distribution. Of course, I'm military, I'm ex-military, and I know that communication is key. And the biggest part of getting the word out, to find someone is getting the word out. Because you need to reach that person that may know something or have heard something. That's why you see the tip line on the bottom of the screen. It's for those people or that person that knows something and be able to use that tip line to bring some closure, give some answers to what happened to my son. So definitely been utilizing that utilizing my platform, and tried to make sure I created this YouTube channel, so that, and I've been helping. I want to give credit to Gisela K from Grizzly True Crime, who helped me get this channel together. I told her what I was looking for, and she helped me get it together. So this channel is just to get Daniel's story out there, to try to get as far as I can, get the story out there to as many people as possible, and at the same time, try to be able to help other families as well. I started to see a little technical difficulties here. You guys, if it's kind of you have some little bad feedback on your end, I apologize for that. I think it was some little signal problems here. But thank you so much for coming in this evening and listening to this Q&A. I want to start this Q&A off a little different. First, I want to say thank you all for coming. I also want to say this, like I said before, the tip line is on the bottom of the screen for those who may have heard something, seen something, can say something. I pay for that tip line. That's live operators, 24 hours, 7 days a week. They can take your call. These operators also will allow you to be anonymous if you like. If you don't want to talk to anybody, you just want to, give a tip. And without speaking to anyone, you can do so by texting the word tip to that phone number that you see on the bottom of the screen. A form will come up. You can fill that out. You can still remain anonymous. I always go a little farther at times to tell a person they want to feel even more. You are safe by leaving this anonymous tip. But if you want something a little more simple for yourself, make yourself feel comfortable, it's easier to go get a burner phone if you like, and leave that tip. So definitely want to bring some closure. I've been doing this for over a year, standing the gap for my entire family, for Daniel's mother as well, and his siblings. And just we need closure. We need closure. We need these answers. So if you know something, please, by all means, use that tip line. Go ahead and clear your conscience. Go ahead and say what you have to say. We really definitely need you to go ahead and do that as well. Also, I just want to tell you guys, I have a day of remembrance. I talked about this morning. The last weekend, the day of remembrance was very successful. There was a lot of families that was able to come out. There was a lot of people that was able to come out to support. And we had some families, I want to put it that way, that came out. And we also have people that came out to support. Very grateful for those who was able to come and share their stories, as well as the resource tables that came out to help give some information out to the families, as well as my family, to being able to give us those resources, things that's out there for us when we have a missing loved one. So I'm really grateful for them. I'm grateful for the team, my team. I call them my A team, as well as my board members that came out and definitely put this event together. Worked tirelessly, really hard to put the event together, and we made it successful. So I'm really happy for them as well. We have many more events that will be coming in the future we'll be working on, and we definitely are geared to help families, and that's what we're trying to do. So I want to thank everybody who's a part of A Day of Remembrance. Also, I want to talk about some of those families that I have this morning. I spoke about them this morning, but I want to do it again this afternoon, reiterate, just go back over the stories, and it's been just like this morning. Just want to talk about it again for those who weren't able to make it out this morning on the Q&A can hear about these loved ones. I call them my loved ones. They're family members to me now. We are family. We was able to talk amongst each other. So just want to make sure I get their stories out. They have missing loved ones and they're in pain. Like I told you guys, it's not unique to my family, as it's a lot of families are going through the same thing. So definitely want to be able to help them out as well. Okay, I want to start off first off. Just want to tell everybody in the chats, if you have any questions once I'm done with the families, please by all means put the word question there first, followed by your question or a question mark and things like that. That would help me as I'm coming down the comment section, and definitely see your question. But first of all, I want to say something about these super chats. Thank you so much, Travis Toll, for Stall, for the super chat. And first of all, thank you for coming out to the YouTube channel as well. If you guys can hit that like, share, subscribe button, that definitely help. I really appreciate you, Travis, from the bottom of my heart, giving me that support that I really need here for not only just the YouTube channel, but as well as my efforts to continue to fight for my son. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that $20. I really appreciate it. God bless you. As well as Athena, thank you so much as well for your super chat, super sticker. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. And God bless you for supporting everything I'm doing here. That means a lot to me. put a big smile on my face. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Thanks so much. And thank you, everybody who else came out here for the Q&A as well. I want to start with, like I said, with the families, and then I would go into the Q&A session of this program here. Thank you so much for giving your attention to these families. I do have one that I want to start off like I did this morning, you guys. His name is Mr. Riff. Oh, so let me get this paper here. I want to start with one right here, Ethan Ristow. I just want to get ready to talk about him. You guys, he went missing. He went missing, a 38-year-old male. He went missing, a son. I want to say it that way. He's a 38-year-old missing son. And he went missing last year. And, so I wanted to make sure that I get his story out. So what I want to do is, like I did this morning, I definitely want to play a video or play a little part or talk about his story, actually. Talk about his story, and you guys give the information. If you can, pay attention to that. Take down some of these notes. And if you can, just like you helped me with my family, I want you to be able to take some of this information. And, if you have information, use it. And definitely look out for this gentleman. So his name is Ethan Benjamin Ristow. He went missing, like I said, last year on August the 20th. And I want to put some information here because I definitely have it up here on the website, on the screen here. You guys hold on for 1 minute. I'm going to share a screen with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about here. And that way you can follow along with me. All right, here we go. Again, his name is Mr. Ristow. I want you guys really, really, really get this. He went missing. He went missing on last year. He's a 38-year-old white male, 5'8", 180 pounds, brown, short, shaved hair. His eyes is blue. He's been missing since August 20th, 2021. Missing from Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, Arizona. Last seen wearing a black T-shirt, green knee-length shorts, and black high-top Converse tennis shoes, and black eyeglasses. So you guys have been out there in that area of Scottsdale here in Arizona. You definitely seen something that day. It'd be nice if you could say something. One of the things about him, he said he'd been missing. The family like say he was last seen in Fountain Hill with his wife and two small sons. Ethan is a devoted father of his two small sons, ages 4 and 5. On Friday, August the 20th, Ethan was last seen in the desert area near East Shea Boulevard and Beeline Highway. So some of you guys that's here in Arizona know those areas. I'm still learning those areas, but those names are very familiar to me as well. It's Beeline Highway near the border of Fountain Hills and the Salt River in Pima Maricopa Indian community. And has not been seen since. Earlier that day, he visited the Safeway DJ Bagel Cafe in Fountain Hills. Ethan's vehicle is a 2005 blue Toyota Highlander that was located abandoned in that area. If you guys have any information, you guys see this up here. He's all this information here on Nameless. If you guys can get to jot down some of this information and keep him in your mind. If you ran into him or help knowing the information about what could possibly happen to him, or you have an idea, you can call the Salt River Police Department at 480, that's 850. Let me put this information on the bottom screen so you guys can get that as well. You go down here and look at the bottom of the screen there. That's the information there. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Mr. Ethan Ristow, you can call the Salt River Police Department at 480-850-9230. The family really needs your help. I met his father. His father has been really passionate. You guys got to understand, sometimes we'll look at it and say, it's a missing child. And definitely, we all were children. We grow up, we become adults. But our parents do not love us any less because we're not wearing Huggies anymore. We're wearing pants. We still love our children the same as that way. I met Ethan's father. He's very much pain for his son, and wanted to make sure that he did everything he can to put his son's name out there. So and make sure he get his information out there so somebody can help him as well. The pain is real. I know what it's like to be in pain, to look for your loved one. So if you guys can help out any way possible, definitely make sure that you keep this information with you, and then really, really look out for this young man and his family. Also, I want to put his Facebook information as well. You can see a picture of the vehicle right here on the left bottom part of the screen as well. Some more information. Again, you guys, there's a case number there as well for the police department, the Salt River Police Department. They have a number here that's a little different, 480-362-7740. You can use those numbers you see on the bottom of the screen as well as that number you see there, and get in contact if you have any kind of information on the whereabouts of Mr. Ristow. So definitely want to bring him back home to his family. His family really love him. His father, like I said, and his family came out to a day of remembrance to share his story, to try to do everything they can to locate him. Nobody gives up on their loved one. Nobody just walk away. We try everything we can possibly to bring our loved one home. So definitely, like I said, you guys, if you can help out, please do so. Just don't forget about that family as well. I also want to share another family, and of course, it's right here on the bottom of the screen. Her name is Alicia Navarro. I told you guys about her this morning. You guys had saw the information as well. I had a little issue with the sounds, the sound that came up for the video. I'm going to play this video again, and I'm going to let that play. And then once it's done, I'll talk about her a little bit more. I want you guys to follow along, and definitely, like I said, help me share her story. Put it on your Facebook pages. Her mother, I've met her mother, and she's in a lot of pain for her daughter. Can you imagine your young daughter missing? 15-year-old now, but is missing, and you don't know where she's at. So I felt her pain. I saw it in her eyes. I could hear it in her voice. It's very painful to hear a mother seeking her child and don't have a clue where she at. So I want to share this story with you guys, and you please listen in. If information that you can find and help this family, please do so. Please do so. Her mother needs all the help she can get.
Where's your emergency? I have an autistic girl that is not currently at my house. She must have sneaked out at night.
Alicia Navarro left her Glendale home just days before her 15th birthday. She wrote a note saying, "I ran away. I will be back. I swear. I'm sorry."
We always check the house first to make sure a child hasn't returned or isn't hiding somewhere. They checked the backyard. They were able to find some things were stacked up against the wall. She's about 4'5", so she had to stack things to jump the wall to run away.
Alicia has autism and needs special care. So in fear for her safety, law enforcement sent out the first ever silver alert for a missing child in the state of Arizona. They canvassed the neighborhood, searched for video surveillance, while her family pleaded for her safe return.
And nothing in the world will ever change how much I love you. The day you're born, I've loved you. And I want to let you know that it's okay. Please communicate with someone.
Alicia left with her computer and phone, which Glendale police have tried to track, but no new location data has come in. For 2 years, investigators and Alicia's family have worked to raise awareness, putting up billboards and hosting news conferences.
There's not a day that I don't think of her. I miss her very much. And I just want to know where she's at, if she's okay.
It's still not clear exactly why she left, but police have learned she was communicating with people online through gaming forums.
The conversations that we were able to uncover, we have followed up on those. We've talked to each one of those people individually and tried to rule them out as best as we can. The FBI does have her gaming computer. They're forensically examining that, and we hope that as our technology gets better, they'll be able to uncover who exactly it was that she had been talking to, and maybe we'll get some leads as to where she is or what happened to her.
2 detectives spend their days following up on tips from the public.
At least 300 tips. Each one of those tips they look at, they follow up with to complete exhaustion.
Even traveling to Nevada to look into potential sightings.
We hope that one of those tips is going to be the one that's going to bring her home. So far, we haven't been lucky enough to have that happen.
It's why investigators need your help.
If you know that you've seen her or just some clue, some piece of evidence that you know of, we want you to call, and you can be anonymous. The smallest little thing could be the break in the case. We just want her to come home.
Thank you guys for watching. Again, like I said, her name is Alicia Navarro. Her mother, Jessica Nunez, is looking for her desperately. Like I said, it's really painful to see a mother having to go through that kind of pain for her young daughter, and don't have a clue. Don't have a clue where she's located, and she needs the public help. She's been trying for over 2 years, and you can imagine, like I told you guys, just because something happened a length of time for a family member, we definitely don't just move on. We'll continue to fight for our loved one. Some efforts kind of change. For instance, you guys know that I've been out in that desert every week, on weekdays as well, searching for Daniel very desperately. The times have changed over circumstances. Some of those searches efforts out there has slowed down tremendously, but my efforts are still here to fight and search for my son from every angle, rather fighting with law enforcement to trying to get awareness out there, fighting to try to get awareness, and as well as, like I said, getting searches and stuff like that. So we just don't give up on our loved one. That's what I'm saying. It's a constant pain. It's an everyday pain not having those answers, and definitely want you guys to be able to help her mother help find her daughter. So I want to make sure that I do my part. I want to put some more up here. I'm going to talk as I'm doing this, but definitely want to help my part to help Jessica Nunez to find her daughter, Alicia. Is up here on the screen as well. If you guys can follow along as well, this information that the mother wants you guys to hear. Again, for Jessica Nunez, the last 6 months, that's the mother. The last 6 months have been a nightmare, and this have been written in 2020. So you guys, it's been a while, but it still feels the same for her. Her teenage daughter, Alicia Navarro, disappeared from their home in Glendale, Arizona, and on September 15th of 2019. Now, as the coronavirus spreads at a rapid pace across the world, Jessica said she is more terrified for her daughter's safety. Saying, well, we just need to find her, and I need to know that she is safe. And this is the pain that a mother had to go through. So you guys can bear with that as well. Jessica said tearfully, "My girl is out there alone without me, and now this virus is horrible. I just need her back home." Jessica said she is especially worried because her daughter is on the autism spectrum and is known to be shy or anxious in some social situations. She takes medicine and has a compromised immune system. Jessica is worried Alicia's anxiety will also overwhelm her with the current situation. It is just as worrisome, Jessica said. I'm worried about her for 6 months, and now this is almost too much. And you can imagine, you guys, this is 2022, and she's still going through the same exact pain. When I talked to her on the day of remembrance, her mother is going through the same pain. She's going through the same enthusiasm, trying to find her daughter. And like I said, somebody knows something. It's time to give this family some closures. Let Miss Jessica Nunez to find her daughter. So you guys have information, please utilize everything you see on the bottom of the screen. You can call those numbers. You can send out information, some tips, and try to help this family. Say, in the very early hours of September the 15th, 2019, Jessica saw her daughter for the last time. It was around 1 a.m., and Jessica was awaiting for her husband to get off work. Alicia came down for a glass of water and then returned to her room. She was really big into gaming, Jessica said. She would stay up later playing games online and talking to her friends. I didn't think anything of it. it seemed safe to her, seemed safe to me. Later that same morning, around 7 a.m., Jessica made breakfast for her husband and her two youngest children, Alicia, younger brother and sister. Alicia was not up yet. That's when Jessica noticed the back door was open. When she checked the backyard, she discovered several chairs next to a wall at the edge of their backyard. Jessica had a sinking feeling that Alicia used them to jump over the wall. She checked her daughter's bedroom. Alicia was gone. A short time later, Jessica found a note on Alicia's desk that read, "I ran away. I will be back. I swear. I'm sorry." Alicia's laptop was also gone, but the chargers were left behind in her room. Jessica told Dateline, um, Jessica told Dateline this was out of character for Alicia and immediately called the police. She told Dateline she was extremely worried, but assumed the teen would be back in a few days. We're past the 6 months mark, Jessica said. Where is she? Alicia isn't a high demand girl, according to her mother. She likes to wear the same clothing, same clothes and the same shoes over and over, which her mother says is because of her autism. She only wore sweatshirts in Arizona, despite the harsh heat. Alicia wasn't fond of being out in the public much for very long. She did, however, like going to McDonald's, where her mother said she'd been eating chicken nuggets for years. She had just started the school year at Buckeye Catholic High School, and her anxiety had peaked for several days. But Jessica said her daughter never expressed being unhappy at home. And that's the thing. That's the thing. There's no indication for the daughter to want to be away and things like that. So you guys, regardless of the fact how her daughter got away from that home, she's a young child. She's a baby. She's out there. She needs your help to bring her back home for her safety, for her mother's sake. You guys can utilize, like I say, if you have any information, anything you think you can use that information below. The whereabouts of Alicia Navarro. You can call 911. They ask for the public. You can call 911. You can call the Glendale Police Department at 623-930-3000 or the Anti-Predator Project at 305-796-4859. So you guys, please help that family out. I'm really wanting to help her family out as well. I do have one more family I'm going to share with you guys. Please hang in there with me and get this information. Also, I want to put that on the bottom. If you know the whereabouts of Angelo Graham, could be take action and call 911 as well, or the James City County Police. Definitely if you can do that as well, because we need to find this young man. His father, it kind of reminds me of the same situation with my son Daniel. His father has been out here desperately searching for son. He's a veteran. He's been out on that ship. He's a single father. He have custody of his son. I want to put it that way. He's married. He has custody of his son, and he's been on that ship out here serving his country. And his son went missing, and he's trying to do both, trying to be a father, to find his son as well as serving his country. So you guys, please, if you have any information about him, I want to share also another video with you guys. If you can watch this as well, it's more information about his story, and definitely want to put his story out there. So here we go. See if I can get that going here. And definitely, if you guys can follow along, I really appreciate it.
Williamsburg father says he is taking matters into his own hands to find his son. This is 14-year-old Angelo Graham, and he has been missing from James City County for nearly 11 months. We've been telling you about the boy's disappearance since he went missing last September. The boy's father is worried James City County police haven't exhausted every effort to find him. We'll tell you more about that in a moment. For now, Derek Graham has hired a private investigator to help track down leads and post flyers to help find his son on the peninsula. That includes this corner mart on Warwick Boulevard in Newport News. How do you feel seeing that flyer of your son on this convenience store?
I'm trying not to look at it. So I'm really trying hard not to look at it right now.
Why is it tough?
Because you're not with me. So I'm trying my best not to shake right now and have Niagara Falls right now.
Someone in here said that they've seen your son.
Well, yeah, the gentleman at the 2 o'clock guy said he comes in there all the time.
Said your son comes in here all the time.
Yeah, he's seen it.
James City County Police are now following up on that tip from the father's private investigator. Police and the boy's father believe he ran away from home last year to be with his mother, the father's ex-wife, somewhere near that store in Newport News. Now, that's a big concern because the mother has a history of violence. News 3 investigates learned Lavetta Graham spent time in prison for stabbing the boy's father with scissors and dragging his body on the interstate on 664. She lost custody after that, but the boy has run away several times to be with her. The father says it has never been nearly this long, and at this point, he's fearing the worst. Are you worried about what's happened to him?
I'm past worried. I'm scared.
Now, we have reached out to James City County Police about their efforts. They say they're doing everything they can, including surveilling the mother's home. They say she refuses to speak to them about where her son could be and that they can't compel her to talk. We also asked police about using the power of social media to help get the word out. Our investigative team searched back months and did not find any posts from the James City County Police online until one was published yesterday morning after several weeks and months of asking. We did ask to sit down with the police department about their plans moving forward, but the assistant chief said they were unavailable. While police believe Angelo ran away from home, he is still a missing child. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says runaways are in danger too, even if they chose to leave home.
They run into potential gang recruitment, certainly violence, being the victims of violence, whether it's physical, sexual abuse, homelessness, protracted homelessness, recruitment into child sex trafficking.
Again, the most important thing here is that a child is missing, and police, his dad, no one can say for sure what has happened to him. So if you know where Angelo Graham is, take action and call 911.
Hey guys, again, I really appreciate your time to watch these videos. I just quickly, just like Alicia, Navarro, and also Angelo Graham, they are children. They are children, and like the lady said there, no matter how they end up missing from their home, they are children. They are children endangered, and we cannot forget that. We cannot let that part go. We cannot forget the fact that they are children. And so that's one thing I want you guys to try to keep that in your mind as well. There's many children out there missing, and they end up out there in the street somewhere and somebody taking advantage of them. Definitely want to urgently get those children home as well. As well as the adults. The adults is there. We don't know the circumstances. It's not automatic, saying that a person, because they're over 18 years old, that they wanted to disappear. They wanted to go away. They wanted to be away from their family. And you can see both of the circumstances here. The adult male, my son included, where some may assume this person wanted to disappear, and that's far from the truth of that. So definitely the families, we know that's something different about that. We know that's not something that actually happens in our families. We know our loved ones a lot more than anyone else would, where some investigators have their own opinions about and things like that. So definitely want you guys, if you can, help these families out, help my families as well. I really appreciate it. Again, the tip line for Daniel is on the bottom of the screen. You guys have any information to bring my son home, please utilize that tip line. Please bring our family some closure. I really appreciate you guys for coming in this evening. Again, I'm going to start on the Q&A portion of this, and I want to start off by saying thank you, everyone who have come in. Jay Silverheads, I really feel Silverheads for being here. I really appreciate you coming out this evening, as well as Dog Defender. Thank you so much. I see you. Guess what? Dane's story is on series 10 of Disappeared. Yes. That is one of the things that is going on. You guys, some of the interviews and things like that. So Dane's story is still getting out there. I'm really grateful for that. So thank you so much for sharing that, Dog Defender. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Also, Jocelyn, thank you so much for being here. If you guys have any questions, please utilize the capital letter Q, the word question, and definitely we'll come down to comment section to try to find every one of your questions and answer everyone that I can this evening. I would like to answer those questions as well. Don't forget these families as well. I just have one more, and I just slipped my mind just now. Definitely wanted to put out here as well. I put up this morning. I'm going to do it real quick, you guys. I don't want to leave Sherry out as well. I put her mother out there this morning for you guys for information. I did have a little clip there, but I ended up losing it just now. But I will put a clip up there again for you guys to watch. But for right now, this is Sherry's mother that went missing out in Florida. I told you guys this before this morning as well. I'm putting her information on the bottom of the screen here for you guys to be able to get information how to get in contact with Sherry. And if you guys also, if you want to Google missing Diane Francis, you'll see all the information that come up as well. She's been missing. Her mother has been missing. Diane T. Francis is her name. She's been missing out of Jacksonville, Florida on November the 28th of 2005. Her age now is 53 years old. She have a strawberry blonde hair, hazel blue eyes. She was around 75 to 110 pounds. This is pretty much a picture that she made look like today. The circumstances around that Sherry told us on the show. She came on this Q&A. She told us about how the police department gave her the runaround just to try to get a missing persons report in. She's been fighting for that and finally got one to do so. And but she got arrested. She had got arrested. She got arrested for trespassing. And from that point, once they released her, she was never ever seen again. So some very suspicious circumstances that surrounded her mother. But the biggest point I wanted to get is that it's a mother. Can you imagine that your mother going missing? We had a young man, like I said before, earlier this morning. There was one gentleman whose mother went missing out here in Arizona, and he's still out. I'm not sure if they found her yet, but he was looking for his mother. It's a painful situation for any family to go through, and these families are going through it. So if you can help Sherry out, you can learn more about the story. Please go Google missing Diane Francis and get more information as well. If you want to talk to Sherry, she left her information as well. Ms. S. Snyder 0615@gmail.com. She also came to A Day of Remembrance. I want to tell her thank you for coming out to A Day of Remembrance and being a part of that event. So you guys, if you can help her family out, help her out, help the family out. If you have any information about that as well, definitely. You can even use the tip line, anything, say to bring her mother back home. So please, you guys, if you can. So thank you again for your attention on these matters. And I'm going back to, like I said, the Q&A. You guys have any information or any questions? I'm sorry. If you have any questions, please put the capital letter Q there before your question, the word question before your question, or some question marks. As I'm coming down the comment section, I can find those. I will be coming down kind of fast, so I want to make sure that I do not miss anybody's questions. So if you have those, please do that as well. All right. So thank you again. I see Double Rainbows. I may say thank you to some people that I can kind of grab there. Thank you to Double Rainbows as well as Athena. Thank you so much for being here as well. And thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate you. Also, let's see who else I got here. Gretchen Mama, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. You coming out to this Q&A. Also, thanks Sophia for putting this information and talking to being a moderator, talking to everybody in the chats and giving information out. I know you are doing that, and I really appreciate that. Appreciate that you're doing so. Again, thank you, Travis, for that super chat that you put out earlier. I really appreciate your support and your love for everything I'm doing. You guys, everybody who's been supporting in every way that you can, I definitely appreciate that. As well as Athena, thank you again for that super chat as well. I do want to say we have 120,007 that went up from this morning. And I really appreciate those who signed that petition, put your voices to that petition today. I really appreciate that number went up. God bless you for that. Saying that you guys put your voice to something that I believe in. You guys believe in everything I'm doing here, fighting for my son. and I really really appreciate that's helping out a whole lot. You guys, some people help out in many forms, and that form is one of the forms that's helping me right now. You guys can go on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, hit that petition button, and put your voice to that petition. If you have multiple email addresses, you can do it multiple times, and that's amplifying your voice, saying that you agree with everything that petition stands for and what I'm doing with it. So I really appreciate you guys if you can. Also, thank you, Sophia, for putting up. If you can donate here, you can donate here. You can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, hit that donate button, and that will help me with everything I'm doing here in my fight for my son. I really appreciate you guys for continually keep me here in Arizona. Continue to help me stay in the fight for my son. God bless you for that. I really appreciate you. And thank you, Sophia, for putting that up as well. All right. And also thank you, Jay Silver Hills, for being here. I really appreciate it. Travis, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here this evening. So you guys have any questions like Gretchen Mama have here? And she put the question there before a question. If you guys can do like so, or put a capital letter Q, like I said, or some question marks before your question, that helps me as I'm coming down the comment section. Her question is, David, do you believe that the 46 initial attempts were due to the requirements of the 2017 Renegade requires a specific set of steps to occur after airbag deployments before? I don't know if the rest of your question got cut off, but okay, well, I guess I see it here on the bottom. Before the vehicle is able to turn back on. Maybe Daniel didn't know that and attempted to continue to try to start the car, found this in the manual or for the online vehicle online. I'm not sure, saying that's kind of like a bit speculation because we don't know if Daniel even had a manual in his book, in his car, or if he was taking the time to read a manual to about cranking the car, after a crash. So that was a pretty much valid situation. And, it's kind of hard to believe someone would sit there and read a manual. I'm not sure he even had that time to do that. So I wasn't there to see that, of course, but definitely, if that's possible, if that's something that cars do, I'm not sure. I don't even know that myself. That's something that wasn't brought to my attention. If there's some type of steps that is done to restart a car. So maybe somebody who know about cars who happen to have access to that car, probably, I'm just hypothetical as well, knew something like that to get that car cranked up again. So I'm not sure. Other than that, Daniel, I told him a lot about cars in terms of changing oils to, like I did rebuild the engine before or something like that. But some of the stuff like that little things like that, I'm not sure. I haven't taught him and think about that. So I don't know if that's something he automatically knew himself, or like you said, something that was read in a car manual, or it may be, from what I'm understanding, the way I'm looking at it, someone who had access to his vehicle knew that, and that's how they got it cranked up again. So it's different ways you can look at that, and I really don't know the answer to that one. All right, thank you so much for that question. I do have Sophia putting this up here. Make sure you put the Q, put a Q or question mark or the word question in front of your question to make it easier for Mr. Robinson to see it. Definitely, it helps me out a whole lot. Thanks, Sophia, for putting that there. If you guys can do so, that definitely, like I said, coming down the comment section pretty quickly here. I would love to answer every question that I can. So if you have those questions, please do so. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much, Beans 1170. I really appreciate you. God bless you for that support. And like I said, you guys, when you guys had like, share, subscribe to this YouTube channel, that opened up a lot of things. Some things I still haven't utilized yet. Gizla K for Grizzly True Crime. She made videos to try to help me get those things going. She didn't want to help me build this channel in the first place. She does a lot of work in the background with some of the things you see lined up. Everything she does in the background, she does a lot of stuff in the YouTube channel as well to help me out. One of the things that happened when you guys have been subscribing and got this channel up to 1,000 subscribers, things like super chats open up, things like community tabs and things like that that I haven't utilized yet fully. Has been coming up and things like that. So it's a lot of incentives that come with YouTube channels being monetized and things like that to be able to help my efforts as well. My goal is to try to get as many subscribers as possible. That way the algorithms can get Daniel's story out farther. And also what I've done this morning and also this evening, try to help other families as well, get their stories out as well. So be able to build a platform for the family of the missing. So thank you, Beans. I really appreciate it, Beans. 1170, thank you so much for that super chat and your love towards everything I'm doing here. I do have a question here from Athena. Thank you, Athena, for putting your word question there before you question. And thank you for coming in off the YouTube side. Is the Buckeye building development, is the Buckeye building development project still under construction given the slowdown in the area? Last I've been out there, every time I go out there, actually, but last I've been out there, that project should have been up since January. Back in November, I had the El Dorado Holdings and some of the other ones come to me trying to get me out that area really quickly. I did a really hard search of that area, another line search in the area that they were supposed to be putting this big community into. To make sure that we didn't miss anything because, hey, had to check these areas before they start tearing up that area. They told me they was going to do it in January. And then the January showed up. The new year came in this year. Only thing that happened out in the area was them putting in new wells. So far, every time I go up there, like I said, they have a new well. I'm just building wells all over that place, and that's the last thing that I see. So as in development, I haven't seen anything done yet. I'm not saying they haven't. I haven't been up there in a couple of weeks now, getting prepared for this a day of remembrance that just passed. But I'll tell you what, I'm sure they probably still, like I said, hesitant on building. So it's supposed to be a smart city from this big smart city that they're spending a lot of money on. I say millions of dollars project. So I'd like to see whenever that starts. I'm not sure. But so far, like I said, I haven't seen any movement on the actual community. I just seen the well sites being built. All right, thanks so much, Kenny Douglas, as well, for being here. I really appreciate you coming out to this Q&A. And let's see. All right, so if you guys have any questions, I'm not sure that's a question, but if you guys have any questions, please, by all means, ask your questions by putting the word question there first before you question the question mark or the capital letter Q. That really helped me so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Danae Jackson. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you coming out as well. I see some new names and stuff. I want to reach out to you guys. I really thank you. Also, just like Tatia Blanc said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to this channel. This will help the algorithm spread Daniel's story. And I really appreciate you putting that information out because it is true, you guys. If you can, hit that like, share, and subscribe button before you leave. Invite others to come out to this channel to be able to get this channel out farther to many as people as I can. But they're going to be that one person or that may hear something, hear something, and say something exactly for these families that I just told you guys. They will be coming on this YouTube channel as well to share their loved one's story. So we want to be able to give them the opportunity to get their loved one's story out there as far as possible as well. So definitely, if you can help by doing that, hitting a like, share, subscribe button. If you do so now, I really appreciate it. Also, if you guys want to keep up what I'm doing on this YouTube channel, you can hit that little bell button to remind you of some of the things I'm doing here as well. So, all right, let's see who else I got here. Let's see. I hear somebody here, Ashes. Thanks for being here. But I see that can I ask who Roger is? I'm late getting into the live. I believe there's some chat going on about Roger. Roger is a person. He's a friend of my son. He's a guy that works at Matrix New World. That actually is a friend, a personal friend of Daniel's off the job as well. And that's probably some of the. If the person was asking, I'm sure if that name came up, that's probably what the chats is all about on that. All right, and let's see. Thank you, Valerie Lovies from Scotia, Canada. Thanks so much for being here, Nova Scotia. That's what it is, Nova Scotia, Canada. Thanks so much for being here off the Facebook side. I really appreciate it that you're showing up here. So
and being a part of this Q&A. I haven't seen many questions, but I do have one from PM Channel. Thank you so much for your question. The question is, Buckeye Law LE is a small department. That is true. With limited resources, personnel, budget, training to conduct a comprehensive investigation. Why won't they turn over the case? Time is so critical, and that's exactly, I think sometimes the departments, they're more concerned about their egos and everything else about the blue and all this kind of stuff. That hampers, instead of them actually being effective for helping families and helping people and doing their job, that hampers them from actually doing their job. They're most concerned about the way they look or some politics and all kind of things. You'll be surprised the things I had to deal with that kind of that have been hindering blocks for me. You guys, I tell you guys, I don't just be out there in the desert. I'm not just passing out flyers. I'm not just doing this Q&A stuff. I had to actually talk to law enforcement. I had to try to do some things, and you guys wouldn't believe some of the roadblocks that comes up and the way the slow movements that law enforcement does, and it's urgent to a family. There's a lot of urgencies there. They make every excuses in the world of what they can and can't do, when they can do it, and how, and this and that, blah, 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 only when they want to. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you guys, had this been a police cruiser on the ground, a law enforcement officer went out there on June the 23rd. He went to go check on somebody at a well site, and they said, hey, yeah, we seen the officer Robinson show up here, and he just drove off at 9:15, and he was never ever seen again. And almost 30 days, they looking for him. And trust me, they're gonna be scouring that ground. And almost 30 days later, the cruiser showed up here on the side of the road, side of this ravine here, and the officer's uniform lying on the ground with his gun and badge. And they said they would not tell the family, oh, well, he had a severe head injury, and he shook his clothes, his uniform off, and he walked off in the desert butt naked, joined a monastery, become a monk. They would never ever did anything like that. Matter of fact, every agency in Arizona would have been working together to bring that officer back home. But when it comes to a person like my son, ordinary citizen, they find all kind of ways not to work together. They find, oh, it's not my case, or it's not this, and things like that. Those kind of things will happen because it's not that kind of urgency, if alone only if it's a police officer, or something like that, or one of their family members. Now, one of the biggest parts, like I say, the personnel, like you said, the small police department, that is true. And so anytime someone is asking the department to, like you said, move that case over to a place where it could be handled properly, and they're refusing to, I chunk that up as to their ego and things like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame to admit they're not capable of handling the case the proper way. And it's proven. They did so much damage to my son's case. I should have never received that vehicle a day after it was showed up in that desert out there. I should have never be holding on to all these evidence and evidence bags marked for safekeeping. That stuff should have never happened. That should have been forensic work done on the scene. That should have been markers to properly put inventory of where everything was at the scene. There should have been forensic work done. They should have asked me for DNA or whatever it takes to get forensic done on those clothing items to prove that it was in my son's clothing. There should have been more than just a swab or a steering wheel and things like that. There should have been a fiber test and hair test in that vehicle to find out if anybody else was driving. It's so much stuff that should have been done, and this department was incapable of doing it or not willing to do it. One thing that I would say, in my opinion, they wasn't willing to do it, and they was refusing to do it. And the reason why I believe that, because no matter what my investigator and I came up with, showed them the hard evidence facts, the damage on the vehicle, the red transfer paint, and so on and so on. You guys know the story. The red sock, the sock that's found near the well that matched the sock that they collected from the scene. No matter all of that kind of evidence, they turn around and hire their own investigator to say what they want that investigator to say, in my opinion. So, who have never seen my son's vehicle, who never touched it, smelled it, tasted it, haven't even asked to see it, but yet have a full report in their report, have a full report they put in their report that this investigator they hired says. So, in my opinion, they want to not do anything for me. They try to do everything they can not to investigate my son's disappearance, making it harder instead of helping, like I said, moving on to a different place. So I want to say also thank you again, Laura Hobbs, for
that super chat. I see it up there, and I really appreciate you as well. Love and prayers to you as well. And we will get justice for Daniel. Bring him home. I really appreciate your love and showing that support as well for what I'm doing here. God bless you for that. If you guys have any more questions, I will be coming down in the comment section looking for those. Thank you, Daryl, for being here. Thank you, Barry, for being here as well, being a moderator, and also the vice president of the Daniel Robinson Foundation. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it and helping out. All right, I definitely have, let's see who else I got here. Let's see. Anybody, T and Wildflowers, thanks so much for being here again. You always supporting this YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. Grateful to see your face. And again, thank you for putting this up again. Don't forget to hit that like, share, subscribe button. I really appreciate it that you really constantly hammering that down. So thanks so much for that. I don't see any more questions. I'm really looking for those, you guys. I don't want to miss your questions. I'm really looking for them. If they're there, I will find them. You guys can help me out by, like I say, putting that question mark there, followed by your the question mark, followed by or your question, or the word question there, or a big capital letter Q. That helped me as I'm coming down. So definitely do that for me if you can. I'm strolling down right now, try to see if I can. I'm trying to get this time in, you guys. I try to keep it at a 2-hour limit, minimum. Try not to go too far over the 2-hour mark. But, definitely want to get all the questions I can. So if you have those questions, please, by all means, ask them. Thank you, Larnell, for being here as well, being part of the board and team as well, moderating in the chat. So you guys can check with the moderators if you have any questions. Also, the moderators are putting a lot of information there in the chats for you guys, and you can also use those as well. I see prayers from South Carolina. Thank you so much, Ruthie Player. Thank you so much for being here from my home state. I really appreciate you coming out. And don't forget, you guys, next Wednesday, we'll be fast and prayer for Daniel. That's September the 21st. You guys can start your hashtags now if you can. Please put it on your social media. Hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel. That'll be next Wednesday. Usually start that off with a prayer. We do the fast and prayer, and then on the evening Q&A, I do the ending of that fast and prayer. So you guys come in and join us. If you want to join us in that fast and prayer on Wednesday, please, by all means, do so. I definitely believe in fasting and prayer, and that a lot of breakthroughs have been happening since that time. I'm still looking for the ultimate breakthrough is to find Daniel and bring him home safely. So I'm going to continue to keep my faith. DJ Moore, thanks so much for your question and putting those question marks there. They keep drilling new wells. Yes, they are. And they have, the last I've seen, it's been about, I want to say about 3 or 4 since the last time I was up there they was working on. So could that be a sign of there is not enough quality water support? And that definitely one of the things that came across my mind. Like I told you guys, my son's job is to determine if those wells can produce at least 100 years of water. And they cannot build a community without wells that can do that, right? And one of those things is my son, if he would have found that out and that these wells weren't producing those 100 years of water, he'll say something. That company would say something, I'm hoping. But, they build them all over the place. We already know Arizona have a water shortage. They already cutting back on certain things when it comes to water. I even noticed some of the sprinkler systems around here that used to be on all the time is not on anymore. So it's a lot of water. This is a desert state. You guys understand that as well. It is a desert state. So a lot of water had to be kind of pretty much imported here through those canals and things like that. So yeah. Everything's drying up. And, definitely if those wells are not producing that type of water, the community is being hindered. So, all right. Also, thank you, Dog Defender, for your question. Mr. Robinson, on the back of my information in the voicemail message and text, I was just called by my husband, law enforcement, and he has some more ideas for you. May I leave in a message, or would you prefer to call? Either way, and I know I keep trying to locate your information there, Dr. Finn. I think you said you left the email as well. Think I got that earlier today, and I want to get back to that website, to email account, and try to look for your message. But either way, you can use either way of those forms. That would help out a lot. So definitely, thanks so much for that, Dog Defender. I do have a question here as well from PM Channel. The question is there any updates confirming if Daniel actually made it to the well site, or is there still doubt that he made it to the site? Well, I have doubt. I have a lot of doubt. I'm waiting on some information that coming back from more of his electronics. Those things are being taken care of, being looked into. So definitely looking for information back from that. That will help me really fully understand, if he ever make it. But I have some information already that would suggest that he possibly didn't make it, or give you the question. I meant to say, give you the question to say if he made it to that well site or not. Especially at the time that it was told to us. You guys, it's a contradiction from the phone call my son made at 9:28 that morning, and when that one person who last seen my son said he left that well site at 9:15, around 9:15. So it don't add up together, don't go together, and things like that. So my son haven't had a incoming call from this guy since the time he left my son a voicemail telling him not to come there, not to come and things like that. My son did end up sending him a text message around a little after 8, even asking for directions how to get there. So in the combination of that, something just don't add up and it don't make sense. If it don't make sense, then it's something's wrong. It need to be looking too deeply. And that's the reason why I say my son's case being handled poorly, because it's poor investigative work to dig into people. I mean, you dig into the person. Matter of fact, like I told you guys before, I doubt it. I doubt it. They can show me any kind of proof to say any of those people that they questioned ever been in their interrogation room, right? But they put me and my daughter in the interrogation room. They called us to the back of the police department, had us come through the back door, and we was in this room. I didn't realize I'd never been in an interrogation room in my life. I'm not a criminal, so I didn't know, but some of those things I see on television. And when I hindsight look at it now, me and my daughter sitting in that little tight room with them, sitting across the table in an interrogation room where we was showing them the phone record through our phones and talking to the bank and things like that. I wonder, did they bring anyone, especially the man that last seen my son inside the interrogation room and question, give him some hard questions about his story. All right. But they asking us a lot of questions too. We had to sit there and really think hard of any weird thing. I mean, we probably sat there for 10 minutes trying to find one little instance, like you guys see on the report, one instance that say anything strange. It wouldn't have nothing to do with his disappearance. It was something that was way back or something, but they used that in a report. And then actually, guys, you already know that lie to say things that we didn't say. Things like he was in love with a woman he didn't know, and things like that. So, but yeah, as in the stuff here, the update, still put out some information I can. So I don't really know if Daniel really made it there. It's things that's contradiction to me. So is there any update coming from Daniel's actually made it to the well site? Like I said, I'm still working on that. Is there still doubt that he made it to the well site? And there's always going to be doubt until I get more information. So, all right. Black Lives Matter, thank you so much for being here as well. You have a question. I really appreciate you putting a question mark as well as the word question. What were some of Daniel's favorite places to eat and shop? Well, that's a hard one here in Arizona. I was in South Carolina when Daniel was living here and never did really know exactly where he go eat and things like that and where he like to shop. But his sister may know those kind of things because they hang out a lot here. I'm constantly looking out for him. God bless you, Mr. Robinson. I really thank you so much for doing that. And yeah, you guys, please, if you definitely, Daniel's not hard to spot. Of course, he was born with one hand. Some guys, sometimes his personality is really high. People don't even notice it. A lot of times, believe it or not, he's never been treated that way. So one thing is that's one of the distinguishing things about Daniel and his smile. As you guys can remember, you see anything, definitely say something. That's what the tip line is for. I hope you guys can utilize that and help me bring my son back home. Keep those flyers going. Keep those flyers running everywhere you can. Pass them out to your friends, every events that you go to, whatever the case may be. That helps out a lot. Football games is what I'm going out the net. So you guys definitely try to get information out there. I also have a question here from Daryl Murray. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you. And the question is, and thank you for putting the word question there first. The question is, was it said that Daniel was heartbroken? No. Well, that's one of the things. That's what I was saying, you guys. in that report, they have you to believe that Daniel somehow was heartbroken over this woman and things like that. He never described that to me or my family. He was heartbroken over some woman. He did mention the young lady 2 days before. I believe it was 2 days when I last spoke to him. It was out of 2 or 3 days, but I think it was 2 days when we last talked before he went missing. And he mentioned the young lady, but he have never used the word love. He never used the word heartbroken. He never even had the tone of voice of her being heartbroken. As a matter of fact, he was telling me some things about that story when he first met her, because I asked him a question. And he tried to skim all over it like I didn't hear what he had to say about this young lady. And I had to backtrack on him, say, hey, wait a minute, what you mean? You staying over some woman's house. Now, that's the only problem, to staying over someone's house that he didn't know for the first night, just meeting with someone. You spend a night with a person that in that way. So that was not smart to me as a parent, from a parent to a son. Of course, I said something about that, but his demeanor about it, his attitude towards it was never sad. He talked about some podcast thing that she gave him as well, about his, she was saying he's, I think it was arrogant or something out of others, but his attitude, something with his attitude. But the thing was, Daniel's confident. Me have a conversation about that. Sometimes people take that in his confident level, because he's very confident for a young man. That some would think because he was born with one hand, he probably wouldn't have that confident level. Daniel is very confident in himself, and so that's one of the things as well. So we have that kind of discussion as well. But that was it, just normal conversation. So I definitely know that for a fact that was a character assassination by the Buckeye Police Department, in my opinion. And the reason why I say that as well, when it first was going out to the public, a reporter, a local reporter, a reporter that helps me out a lot, she went to go get a report from the Buckeye Police Department at the time, and for her story as well. They gave her the police report, and when she brought it back, she had brought it to me, and my attention came to me personally, and she was talking to me about this report, and she had it in her hand, and she asked me about the young lady, and when she showed it to me, it was highlighted in yellow. I thought she highlighted in yellow. No, the police department highlighted in yellow because they want that story to be out in the public. And so the way I look at it was a character assassination. That's why I took it. And it was offensive to me. And, the way it was allowed, this woman, first of all, was allowed to upload her own text messages into their report before my son's phone was found. My son's phone wouldn't be found for almost another 30 days when this lady was allowed to upload her own information there. Her text messages don't match the timeline of his phone records. And then now they even saying they retrieved some of his text messages from the trash, but yet to put those what they retrieve into that police report. And then the reason why, because they know that's what they put in their report would be falsification of their report. That's why they're not doing it. So what I'm saying is, you guys, there's a lot of things was put in there to give my son a appearance to be a stalker, for one thing. My son told me the story, how that went down. It's nothing near to what it appears on that text messages. And also that he has some kind of sadness, like you said, about this young lady. My son has, you guys gotta understand, my son been in the college. He lived in college experience. He's been in a fraternity. He's always surrounded by women and men, right? Young women and men. He's not heartbroken over some woman. He's not definitely heartbroken. He never did express that. So that's when I hear that, that's one of the things that was created, in my opinion, by that report. Also, was it in reference to Caitlin? Of course, that report is in reference to Caitlin, and that's what give people that narrative out there. So how long did he know her before his disappearance? It'd been a couple of weeks that he known her. They had conversations. Like I said, that's the reason why she was able to give him this podcast. I mean, she knew him long enough to make an opinion about his confident level, that type deal. So it wasn't like, I guess, the way it can appear to some. They met one time, one night, the first night, and then he started coming over her house unannounced, or some stuff they tried to put it in that report. So it's not nowhere near that event. So that's the way it was put in that report, to give that false, way things happen. So, all right, I do have one thing I want to put out here again. Thank you so much, Racial Honor, for that super chat. I really appreciate it. Daniel Robinson matters. He does. He's my son. And also he's a human being. He's a human being. And, he's a contributor to society. Very brilliant young man. If any one of you guys have met him, you will love him. He's very much of a people person. You guys can probably tell all the pictures that's out online of my son and his friends and him doing things. He loved nature. He loved people. He's just a very genuine young man. So definitely his life matter just as much as a police officer. Like I told you guys, without a police cruiser there, my son, it just mattered just as much as an officer out there lost in that desert or something happened that day. The way that they approach that law officer situation, I want them to approach my son's situation the same as that way. All right. So here we go here for another question. Thank you again, Rachel Arnold. Thanks so much. Here we go, Athena. Thank you so much for your question. May we have link for the petition? Yes, if you go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Let me see if I can get this right. I think, a matter of fact, here you go, Athena. There it is right here. That's the link there. Thanks, Sophia, for putting that up. But if you go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, you can also hit that petition tab. Pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Hit that petition tab. It's definitely take it to change.org. And I do want to mention, I say it all the time, you guys, change.org will ask for a donation, but that donation is not for anything that happened with the involvement with me, myself and my son, trying to find it. It don't go towards us. It definitely goes straight to change.org. That is your choice if you want to help change.org with their platform. That's what those donations is for. It's not anything towards my efforts to find my son. So, but I definitely need your tip. I mean, your petition, your voice to that petition, because if you guys believe in anything I'm doing here, my efforts, I definitely need your voice added to that petition. That helps out a whole lot. You guys, believe it or not, that's why I got some movement with law enforcement on certain things. I'm really eager to tell you guys about. But that happened because you guys have been having my back. You guys have been making these phone calls, like I said, signing a petition, was sending these emails, you name it. You guys have been helping in every way you can. Those things really do matter. So thanks so much. Also, thank you again, Laura Hobbs, for that super chat. I really appreciate your love and prayers to you as well. And we will. That's right. Bring Daniel home. I really appreciate that you supporting. God bless you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your help. And you guys, again, if you have any questions, like Dog Defender have here, if you have the question mark, the word question, or capital letter Q, that would help before your question. That would help me find it. Mr. Robinson, am I correct that the Buckeye law enforcement turned everything from Daniel's case over to you? Yes. That is what is done when LE closes a case. And they told me that. Matter of fact, when you say that, Dog Defender, that's exactly how it happened. When that vehicle showed up, they came out quickly. And I'm gonna tell you the suspicious part about this stuff, and it's crazy because law enforcement should know better than this. First of all, no matter what you put on social media, once you put it there, you can't erase it. You can erase it, but it don't go away, right? And one of the biggest things is they put on their page, they had no more leads to follow. They told the local news media here they had no more leads to follow. They stuck by that. They gave me everything from that scene, right? And then as soon as my investigator came, and I hired my investigator, he came up there to get the black box, the copy. He wanted a copy. They gave it to him. They literally gave him the black box data that they collected. And they told him personally, we're not doing an investigation. So anytime I hear law enforcement, that one agent from the FBI, whoever, saying that Buckeye is doing stuff, they literally said these things. They told my investigator not doing investigations anymore. They told me they have no leads to follow and gave me everything from that scene, like you said, guys. And one thing that my investigator showed me that I didn't know is that they have these boxes on there. It's check. We got a box that says evidence. They can check that. They have a box for safekeeping. They can check that, right? And those everything they gave me from that scene was in evidence bags, but marked for safekeeping. And my investigator explained to me that means that, like you said, they don't have any more case. They're done with it. Only thing they're looking at is whatever happened on the scene. And they think it was a brain injury that they told me out of their own mouth. It was a brain injury in their opinion. That with a brain injury, him walking around butt naked in a hot desert, 118 degrees, he's coming back for his things. He has all his stuff. He's coming back for it. That's all we got. We have no leads to follow. We're not investigating. and they gave everything over to me. They even threatened me. The detective even threatened me. If you don't get out of here today, we'll have a towed out and you got to pay storage fees. So that type deal. So, so yeah, they definitely was done with it. I think they thought I was going to go out and say, okay, when they tried to get me all the stuff over, I was going to, just leave and go back to South Carolina, and they would have been done, wash their hands of everything. No, I'm a fighter. This is my son. I'm going to be here fighting. I fight law enforcement. I don't care who they are. A gun and a blue shirt and all that do not scare me. I'll just put it that way. And if they are doing some corrupt stuff, they have to pay the price as well. So the thing is, I definitely would not back down from law enforcement. So the thing is, I stayed here. I continue to fight. You guys have been fighting with me. You guys have been signing that petition. You guys have been making those phone calls. You guys have been having my back from day one. You've been out there to the searches. You've been out to these events. You guys been passing out flyers. The news medias and everybody was taking my stories for Daniel's story. And so they seeing all of that. Yeah, of course. They're afraid of that. So definitely they trying to cover their tail now. They took you see, guys, they took that report. You guys can't even get the report now if you want it. If you want it, they took it down. Agency had to come to me and ask me for a report because they won't even give it to a law enforcement agent. So they shut their report down. They shut because all that falsification in their reports and things like that. So in my opinion, the things I've seen, and that's Buckeye. But what I say, why are they telling people they are working on it? I mean, because they're covering their behinds. It's a little too late to be saying they're doing this and doing that and blah, blah, blah. And my son been missing over a year when they start saying, oh, I'm doing this and that. And then they go adding things as we was talking on this Q&A. Guys, I've been showing reference to that as well. Go back on these Q&As and you can see how the timeline, when things start being added to that report, based on things I was saying on the Q&A. So they told me they watched the Q&A. They watched the Q&A. So again, I will say this sometime to be cynical. Welcome, Buckeye. Thank you for joining this Q&A. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here. But if you have any questions, put the capital letter Q there, followed by your questions or, question mark, just like everybody else. But definitely they're there. They're here watching as well, this Q&A. So guys, when you guys support like that, definitely, yes, they're trying to do everything themselves to try to cover what they haven't done. So definitely I want them to move my son's case over. That's just the bottom line. I don't have any confidence in that department at all. All right. So thank you again for your question, Dog Defender. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Also, guys, if you have any more questions, definitely put those question marks there as well. Oh, thank you, Larnell, for being here as well. Team member as well. I had to point you out. And I know how you feel. And you're right. You're right. They did not do their job. And I believe it was intentionally. Yes, it definitely. Hoping that I would have got out of here. But you guys have any more questions like Olivia have here, please put the word question there before you question, and I will get to it as soon as I can. Question is, have any politicians or public figures reached out to amplify Daniel's story? I have talked to a few politicians, and none has actually on their own did any kind of speaking on behalf of my family or myself or Daniel. One of the biggest parts was very offensive as well. And I say this a lot because this reflects on that whole department, not just the Buckeye Police Department, but also the whole city of Buckeye, the way they are. Now, y'all can imagine, I've been out there in that desert with volunteers. A lot of people come from Buckeye. A lot of volunteers live in Buckeye as well. Hundreds of volunteers, right? And we out there in that desert finding human remains. We're out there in that desert finding suspicious items. We're out there just in the sun. They're donating their money towards what I'm doing out there and what I'm doing here in Arizona. And that whole police department, first of all, never came to my search and support. Then put a dime into my searches. And then you have the city manager did not even acknowledge that I was out there in their city conducting these searches. 40 weeks of searches, right? Over 35,000 acres of land. They have not once even acknowledged me of being out there. Now giving the condolences, then didn't say hello to me, or I want you out of my city. Just say this, whatever. They didn't say anything to me. It took me to go to their city council. I did one city council meeting, sat there in their front, make sure they see who I am. I came a second time with my shirt on. Please help find Daniel's shirt. attire, and I spoke. And even after that, with a stone face, I'm telling you, I'll never forget, you guys. Those people keep a stone face. Even after that, pleading and let them know that I'm there. You can't ignore me. This is things I'm doing in your city. They have still to this day haven't even said hello to me. Still haven't this day to show any kind of empathy towards the pain that me and my family is going through in their city. My son went missing in their city, in Buckeye, in their city. The mayor of Tempe, the mayor of Buckeye, as his assistant mayor, as a whole staff there, the whole like I said, the council, all of them, the same thing. People with no empathy, with no kind of heart, no kind of soul, or whatever the case they have in that whole city there. It's messed up. It's really messed up. You know what I'm saying? For a community, they're supposed to be community leaders being voted in or whatever the case may be. That's a big reflection of the whole city to me, because you are those city leaders. You represent that city. And when they're like that, that makes me understand why that Buckeye Police Department is the way it is as well. You take a chief of police at the time who was in charge when they took on to my son's case. He got suspended for falsifying documents. You have another officer right now recently stealing information from public information, doing criminal stuff. Instead of them firing this chief of police, they elevated him, made him part of the city manager. He's the boss of the new chief that's taking up Sanders that came over under him, right? So something's wrong with that whole department, something's wrong with the whole city, the whole makeup and everything like that. So I look at that. When you ask about public figures, I look that direction, thinking that at least the city council, the city managers of Buckeye will be willing to do some of the right things. No, I had to go to Phoenix Police Department. They have nothing to do with Dane's case at all, but they reached out to me. I couldn't barely even get out to a city council meeting. I couldn't even finish my speech at talking to city council without one of the guys on the council members was about to break the rules to try to help me out from the stand up there. And they reached out to me afterwards. They came chasing me out down to try to see if they could help in any kind of way. Same with the Tempe Police Department. Had the mayor of Tempe come off his podium area he sit and come down to try to meet and spoke to me. I had twice. I spoke to him 2 or 3 times now. So they reached out to me. So it's a bit different when you start heading towards the eastern side of Arizona, or when you're going out real far out there in that western area of Arizona, outside of Phoenix, towards Los Angeles, in that desert community and stuff. So it's a bit different demographics of people, and you can see that just by their actions. Like I was told when I was young, actions speak louder than words, you guys. A person can say anything they can write anything on a piece of paper, but their actions speak louder than words. I don't care about words on paper. I don't care about words from their mouth. I'd like to see those actions, and those actions said a whole lot, and I still stand by those. So they prove to me who they are. Just like my Angelo say, they show you who they are, believe them. Believe them the first time. Do you believe them? So they show me who they are. All right. Thank you also for that question. But Barry, thank you so much. Ms. Rosin will be a special guest on 9/23, and that's right, you guys. Yes, next week, you guys also, I'll be a special guest. I'll be speaking with the ASU. So you guys, the information, you have the link there. I'm really grateful for them as well. Thank you for Barry for reminding me of that. I did put that information out there. So you guys definitely, if you guys can get this link here, I will be a guest speaker to get Daniel's story out farther. And I really appreciate that school for doing that. Definitely. So thank you so much for ASU Forensics Week. You guys definitely be a part of that if you guys can attend and support her, because she have more information here as well. If you guys can attend, please by all means attend. We definitely need you there in support. So I'll be putting more information on that as well. You guys check out Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I'll be talking about that. Like I said, it's on September 23rd. You guys please join in with us and help us out. Show your love, support, and and the support us. Thanks so much, Barry, for putting that out. All right, if you guys have more questions, I am coming down. I see Athena again with her question. I really thank you so much for your questions. Question is, have you hired an attorney? Yes, I do have one. If not, you should. Yes, I do have one. Matter of fact, she's been with me for a while, and that's some reasons as well. As you probably don't know, again, and that's one reason why I was able to get a case briefing with the Buckeye Police Department. I wrote this letter requesting the FBI to come into my son's case. The FBI told me I had to do it through the Buckeye Police Department. I did put that request in with Chief Hall. I CC'd the city managers and all those people I just told you about off that city council. And I had my attorney to make sure it was legally sound when I finished my letter. So she oversaw that letter, anything that needed to be corrected. And I sent it over to him, right? Sent that over to them. And you guys know the story, what happened in that. He agreed. He said, hey, I already got this, I already have this FBI briefing already in the making. That's how you try to put it. But then in the same letter, you guys, I still have it. I ought to bring it up here now that it's gone. I'm going to show you guys. I will put it on this Q&A. Then he tried to accuse me. He did a couple times, and I had to hold my tongue a lot. My attorney told me, just keep quiet for a while. But he tried to accuse me of holding back evidence, like I worked for the Buckeye Police Department or something. He was accusing me of, before he helped saying he's going to help and get his FBI thing, he started accusing me of holding back evidence or something, not other, right? And then I'm working on my own, I'm doing my own investigation, but I'm holding up evidence from them, like I work for them somehow. And then the thing is, so he agreed to that. And then as soon as he said, hey, I've already put the request in for the FBI to come in. And as soon as he did that, my attorney, she quickly wrote a response back to him the same day. Now, same day, sent a response back to him saying, hey, we need to be a part of that case briefing. If she's not going to be a part, I definitely, Mr. Robinson, need to be a part of that case briefing. And what they did is they did it behind my back. We just waited to give him a response time. We found out that he ended up having it because they called me and said, yes, we already had the case briefing. And the FBI said that, Mr. Robinson, you're doing such a great job on your own. We don't have to come in. And that was really insulting to me, because I've been begging and pleading for law enforcement to put money into my searches out there. I had to rely on GoFundMe. I had to try to get people with cadaver dolls. I had to get charter helicopter. I had to, get people with aircraft, fixed wing aircraft to do searches. Try to get drones. I mean, you guys, you name it. I've been out there doing all of that stuff, and they didn't put a dime into my son's search out there. And yet, tell me I'm doing such a great job that law enforcement should be doing. I'm doing a better job than the FBI is what I was told. I'm doing a great job on my own that the FBI didn't need to come in, because I'm just doing a better job than they can do. And that's the way I took it. So it was insulting, very insulting, because I was really happy when he said, hey, we're going to get this case briefing. I put that request in. I got on my family press conference, and I was really happy about it. I said, oh, man, this department finally doing something right. They got this FBI coming to my son's case to look into it and things like that, and then only to be insulted by that department. So like I said, you guys, they do so much damage. So many hurtful things been said to me, cynical things, cynical things. I'm just going over and over again, guys. You would be surprised some of the things I heard. Just like, for instance, searching for my son. Hey, they didn't tell me. They told the guy who found my son's vehicle, don't tell the media and don't alert the family, right? But when they told me the next day, over 24 hours later, that the vehicle was found, knowing I was out in that desert looking for my son, they said they didn't want to disturb my sleep, right? That's the reason why they didn't tell me. That was their excuse, the reason why. They didn't want to disturb my sleep. Though I was out there for hours in the day, 118 degrees with volunteers out there in that desert looking for Daniel, they didn't want to disturb my sleep. That was insulting. And then they want to play these games with the monastery. He may have joined the monastery, become a monk to, oh, we had these low-flying helicopters, the man leaning out the window. If he flying so low, if you hold your hands up in the air like this, Mr. Robinson, you can touch the bottom of the helicopter. Just jokingly things when my son is missing, so that's the kind of things. Yeah, I definitely need an attorney, and I make sure I have one. So we do have some things. Yes, he's definitely, I do have an attorney. So if you ask me a question, I definitely have that. And I have to have that. That's definitely number one thing, to have an attorney, as well as getting things done. So, all right. Thank you, Barry, for putting this up. You guys can please sign that petition. They're coming over and over again from my moderators and my team. Please, if you guys can sign that petition, we're still working on that. There's some other things that will be coming. I'll be doing some updates on that petition. And I know you guys follow me with everything I'm doing when it comes to that petition, the things I believe in, and the things I'm fighting for. So definitely. I don't know why you put this up, Barry, but you guys, for I guess it's a link to one of the. Buckeye continues to withhold information on outside investigation of the police department. And there's a lot of corruption going on in the police department. So, you guys, I don't need my son's case. My son is missing. I don't need my son's case messed up in that department. And I need my son's case moved elsewhere. And that's the things I've been fighting for, you guys. That's things I've been doing in the background as well. And so, I'm going to continue to fight. I'm going to continue to fight to get Daniel's story out that department. So thank you, Lola, so much for that super chat. I really appreciate you. God bless you. That was really nice and very kind of you. Love and prayers to you. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. God bless you. You guys, I don't see any more questions here. I think I made it down to the bottom of the chats. If you guys have any more questions, please bring them on the next Q&A. I would love to have those questions and answer those questions. But in the meantime, I just want to say, you know what? Don't forget about these families that I was talking about tonight. Like I said, my family is not the only one that have a missing loved one. My son, Daniel's mother. But you know what? There's other families too as well, and they're suffering just as much. Some of them have platforms, some of them don't. And either way, we all family. We all trying to look out for each other. So I know they're looking out for me, and I'm looking out for them as well. But just wanted to say, you guys, don't forget about these families. If you can, go back over this same YouTube channel. You can play it back again and get some of the information. Excuse me, I should have it in the description. Hopefully I can change that up and put it in the description, some of the information description. You guys can go back on that as well. So yes, if you have any more, like you have here, Dog Defender, thanks so much. If you guys have any missing loved ones, yes, you always can come on this channel as well and share your loved one's story. That's what it's for. I'm definitely willing to do that as well. And definitely want to be able to help. That's the goal. The goal is to help and much as I can. So definitely thank you so much, Dog Defender, putting that up as well. And all right, thank you so much. And I think that's it, you guys. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I will be doing something during the week, trying to get some information out. So you guys look out for these extra videos or some of these lives that I will be doing as well. We'll be having some of the family members here on this Q&A, as well as one may be coming in on Friday, trying to make a special date for to be able to share the loved ones' stories. And so if I'm able to do that, that's going to be a plus, to be able to share these stories. A lot of families that came out to the Day of Remembrance want to be on this YouTube channel. So definitely would like to have them on. I'm still waiting for them, and they're willing and ready to do so. I will have them on here. And if it's like other than Wednesday, I will tell you guys. I'll give you a heads up and let you know. You guys, please follow this channel, and you'll see those things that actually show up. And yes, to answer your question, Rachel, thanks so much for the question. I am still doing the best of the program, Zoom. I did hear people say they had a problem with I'm sitting there waiting, and I didn't ever hear nobody shows up. So I'm really trying to make sure I fix that. Make sure there's nothing going on with the link. The link should stay the same because I'm using the same link. But when I wait there, I did hear some people say they tried to log in or something, and they was waiting as well as I was waiting. But I want to check into to make sure that's correct. But yes, definitely for those who have actually made it into that meeting, I really appreciate you as well. But yes, I do it every tomorrow. Tomorrow, matter of fact, every Thursday at 5:00. You guys can come in and join me on that Ambassador Zoom. There's a Zoom. So you guys can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Under that front page, you'll see the Zoom link there on that front page. It's right there on the front page. Some people had a hard time seeing it for whatever reason. It's right next to under where's above now. I moved it up. I moved the video below, but I have it above the video. You'll see it right there as soon as you come on the page, on the front page. There, the Zoom link is there. Like I said, I'll be there at 5:00 tomorrow, Arizona time. That's California time, but it's 8:00 p.m. Eastern time. So you guys want to be a part of the Zoom. If you just want to hear about the Ambassador Program, you can join in to see what it's about and see if you guys can help. Because what I'm trying to do is get some things set up also for the foundation that we will be launching pretty soon. that date. So you guys can be aware of that as well. Be launching that date, but definitely want to be able to get those flyers out for Daniel. And if you guys can help me, I definitely need that. I'm still got my efforts going, still pushing Daniel's stories out there, still going to these events. You guys see me at the Black Rodeo just the other week. You're seeing us at the Day of Remembrance last weekend. We have some more events that we'll be going to. You heard about the event that's coming up with ASU, Arizona State University. So it's definitely a lot of movement going on here, and I need all the help that I can get. So if you guys want to be a part of that ambassador program, please, by all means, join me in that Zoom. I would like to see your faces. Some of you, I like to see your faces who've been supporting this channel as well. Definitely come out. And I know you're not unable to join. I apologize for that. I wish you could, Rachel. But if you guys cannot join that, you definitely still hit me up on Please Help Find Daniel at yahoo.com. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. And ask for information. Get your request in to be an ambassador as well. I can tell you about it as well through the email. So again, thank you so much for everything, you guys. I will be jumping off now. I'm really grateful for your opportunity for coming out here and hearing these stories and sharing these loved ones' story, and also the information to help them bring their loved one home. And also, like you guys have been helping me bring Daniel. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I love you all. Thanks so much. God bless.